We have some technical issues here. We need to swap the teams, swap the positions. Not the debate positions, but the place where you're sitting, the position, yeah, the stage. Please swap. Don't worry, your arguments are still consistent. You just have to swap the physical position. Welcome to the final rounds. Hope you guys are ready. How are you guys feeling? Okay? Okay, so the motion for this round is this House supports the rise of the use of cryptocurrencies, example, Bitcoin, Ethereum, USDT in financial transaction. On side proposition, we have got G, and side opposition we have Team PDS. Without further ado, I'd like to call upon the Prime Minister. Here. For the speakers, Prime Minister, if you could approach the podium. All speakers will be speaking in front of the podium. Thank you.
Good afternoon, honorable judges and fellow opposition. My name is Maddie and I am the Prime Minister from the government. Cryptocurrencies have seen a great rise in the modern world due to its great security, anonymity, and practicality. Unlike traditional fiat currencies controlled by national governments, cryptocurrencies can circulate without a monetary authority, such as a central bank. The global crypto exchange Coinbase has over 100 million verified users globally, many of which hold Bitcoin, a widely used cryptocurrency, like Ethereum. Now, for our definition. We define the motion as, we do not oppose the rise of the use of cryptocurrencies, and we define cryptocurrencies as all digital currencies designed to work as a medium of exchange through a computer network that is not reliant on any central authority. We are excluding meme coin, and we are only referring to genuine cryptocurrencies, like Bitcoin. Now, we agree with this motion and believe it is true. As your first speaker, I will be explaining the practicality of crypto, introducing the decentralization of crypto, and noting how cryptocurrencies provide easy transactions. Our second speaker will be elaborating on the production and distribution of money, how it affects our environment, and expanding on the security of crypto. Our third speaker will rebut the opposition, expand on previous points said, and summarize the team case. Now, for my main points. First, practicality. Now, why would anyone want to transfer crypto instead of cash? Unlike the current system, crypto is much more practical to transfer large amounts of cash, and it only takes about 20 minutes and is much more secure than any other banking system. Bitcoin is much more safe than what we have as of the moment. Major coins like Bitcoin are run on blockchain technology, which makes it close to impossible to commit fraud. Since crypto is digital, sending crypto can be as easy as sending an email. Crypto also doesn't have any physical borders the way dollars, pesos, or euros do. So you can send crypto to friends, family, or merchants overseas as easily as sending it to someone sitting next to you. You can also send crypto without sharing your personal or banking info, making it more secure. Now, second, decentralization. In blockchain, decentralization refers to the transfer of control and decision-making from a centralized entity, individual, organization, or group thereof, to a distributed network. The decentralized model that crypto employs makes sure that third parties do not intervene in transactions and take an individual's rightfully deserved money. This can allow people to make larger monetary transactions without being heavily taxed or having their money freezed by authorities. This also can eliminate the possibility of banks charging people in hidden charges or robbing their money in the case of an economic recession. Now, third, easy transactions. Crypto transactions can be made easily or generally at a low cost and in a relatively private manner. Using a smartphone app, hardware wallet, or exchange wallet, almost anyone can send and receive a variety of cryptocurrencies. Some types of cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum, can be purchased with cash at a Bitcoin ATM. A bank account isn't always required to use crypto, so it's possible that someone could buy Bitcoin at an ATM using cash, then send those coins to their digital wallet or phone. This may be a huge advantage for people who might lack access to the traditional financial system. Because it basically takes a few minutes to transfer Bitcoin to another user, it may be used to buy products and its services from the ever-growing number of businesses who accept it. This facilitates spending money in another nation and converting currencies. With the added benefit of having little or no costs charged, Bitcoin can also be sold at any time. I am sure that the opposition will bring up examples of cryptocurrencies that failed. However, that is pointing to an extreme case, assuming that that is true for all cryptocurrencies. We have economies and financial systems that collapse all the time, such as the Venezuela Bolivar Zimbabwe dollar. The current issues that the opposition may mention about cryptocurrency are very similar to the issues of the financial system. The cryptocurrency contains various benefits that the financial system does not provide. Now, in conclusion, do not oppose the use of cryptocurrencies because they are practical and secure for sending, are decentralized, meaning third parties do not intervene and fraud is reduced. Crypto transactions are easy and can be done anywhere at any time. And lastly, although crypto has its flaws, we can point out that they're the exact same problems with the financial system. The only difference being that crypto has much more advantages such as practicality, transparency, and decentralization. Thank you.
I'd like to thank the Prime Minister for that speech. Speaker spoke for 4 minutes and 42 seconds, 442. And now I'd like to call upon the Leader of Opposition to open the case for side opposition and to respond. Hear, hear.
Hello. Good? Are we starting my speech? In 3, 2, 1. Actually, side opposition, we do agree crypto is actually a really good thing. And we do accept the definition of what crypto is. However, we disagree on one very crucial part of this motion that would set our opposition case apart. That crypto in general, it has benefits, especially in investment. However, as the end of the motion says, which your Prime Minister has failed to point out, that in financial transaction, crypto is good. That's what your side should be supporting. We do not support that it's good in financial transactions. That's where we set our case apart. First of all, let me go into some rebuttals. As you said, crypto to buy stuff is practical. Well, it may be, but how many people use it, may I ask? Do you still use the baht currency? I believe you still do. Buying water from the shop up there, I think you still use the baht currency. Maybe even a banknote. And that's practical enough. Do you want to switch to crypto yet? Is the infrastructure ready to switch to crypto yet? If you go to some cafeteria in the mall, do they accept crypto? Or do they accept an online banking account using the baht currency? Secondly, when it's as easy as sending an email, that's a problem because anyone can use it, and that poses a security risk actually. Even though the ease of use of it, that poses a security risk, which will be elaborated in my second speaker's arguments. And finally, as I said, your team has failed to say that you support it in financial transactions, which is what the motion says. And you have not defined what financial transactions are. Thus, I shall take it as my responsibility to do so. Financial transactions are to sale, purchase, receipt, and pay, where goods are involved, especially with businesses. This is what financial transactions are, which in the benefits you have given, some are on that, but you have not explicitly said what they are. So, our team, we believe that the rise in the use of crypto is beneficial for stocks, investing in, but not for the use of it in financial transactions. We do not support the rise of it in financial transactions, let me stress. We support the rise of it, but not the use of it with goods. And the burden of proof that we have to prove here, if we can prove that the rise of cryptocurrency by using it as investments is good. However, using them in financial transactions is unnecessary and risky. We take this debate. As for your side, you must prove why financial transactions using crypto will be beneficial. Moving on into my splits. I present to you 3 arguments, which will be split with me on the first one and my second speaker on the 2 others. The first argument would be volatility of crypto when financial transactions. Secondly, the risk of centralization from government. And 3, irreversible change that crypto brings. So, into the first argument. Crypto fluctuates a lot. That is a fact. Let me ask you one question, the panel. Would you use the Singaporean dollar if one day it equals to 25 baht, then the next day it equals 50 baht, then the next day it equals 100 baht, then the next day it goes back down to... Yes, you're right.
Wouldn't the speaker agree that we could change this if we normalize cryptocurrency?
Okay, yes. Could you repeat the question again?
Wouldn't the speaker agree that we could change the volatility if we normalize it? The baht is still volatile, but not to an extent because it is used by so many people.
What from the opposition has said, yes, that is true. If we normalize it, we might do it. But they fail to consider one crucial thing. The effort we need to normalize it. How much infrastructure would we need to change to normalize cryptocurrency and use it instead of the baht? It's so much. Money is rooted into our everyday lives. We have to use it in every transaction, right? And if we need to change every of that to support crypto, imagine the amount of money, the amount of infrastructure we need to change. That's just a lot. That's going against the practicality crypto was invented for. For online, maybe, yes. But for in real life, no. So with that comparison still made with the present situation, crypto is still volatile. And when it's volatile, it can impact other people very, very negatively. First, for the buyers, you can maybe gain profit because you bought this cheap and the next day crypto rose. But it can also make you lose benefits that you bought this day at an expensive rate and the next day it's a lower price. Same can be said for the people who sell these. It's no one gains long-term benefit because no one is certain what the rate would be and what would these prices of these goods would have to be each day. And that's a really big problem. So if we can prove from the reasons that we have stated that crypto in financial transaction is unbeneficial, we take this debate. Thank you very much.
We'd like to thank the Leader of Opposition for that speech. Speaker spoke for 5 minutes and 22 seconds, 522. And I'd like to call upon the Deputy Prime Minister to further the case of side proposition and to respond. Hear, hear.
Hello? Okay.
Good morning, judges, opponents, and audience. I'm Molly, the Deputy Prime Minister, and I'm fain to begin my case with a small rebuttal. This House supports the rise of the use of cryptocurrencies in financial transactions. Yes, I agree with you, to an extent that most people do use the baht currency when making simple transactions. But that's just because we haven't made crypto the norm yet, and that is what this motion is based about, and which is what we support. We must mass adopt crypto into our world. Governments all over the world who have embraced the technology into their own procedures and created an environment that is conducive to the blockchain and cryptocurrency growth are said to have achieved mass adoption. And you had also mentioned that everyone can basically use it, right? Which creates a sort of security threat, and you believe that it's not safe, right? But the infrastructure that underpins crypto is responsible for some sort in the main advantages, not their currency themselves. You could argue that crypto is not secure, but we disagree. And this is because of the blockchain, a decentralized ledger for data storage that keeps track of every transaction made there. There can be no transaction eliminated. A blockchain entry that has been made can never ever be removed. It's safely stored in the system. Additionally, because the blockchain is distributed across a number of machines, no hacker can technically access the entire chain at once, making the information held therein unbreakable. And this also connects to one rationale for the decline in street crime, is that individuals and owners of small corporate or companies tend to carry less banknotes on them because they depend more and more on electronic payment systems, which decreases the quantity of equal to steal paper money available to petty criminals, so less street crime. Yes?
Could this benefit also be achieved by using online like baht currency instead?
I guess to an extent, yes, but the thing is, you could argue that currencies are different all over around the world, but the thing with crypto is you could argue that it's unstable and it keeps, it's going up and down, but it's the same all around the world. And the reason why it's not stable is because it's not been mass adopted yet, it's not the norm, which is why we are arguing that it should be. So on to my next point, let's talk about the production of money. Unfortunately, most people are unaware of how a firm that relies on cash might affect the environment. Coins have a terrible and damaging impact on the environment. According to the American Council of Science and Health, over 48,000 tons of carbon dioxide have been released due to coin mining and transportation. Nitrogen dioxide, sulfur dioxide, and carbon dioxide are released into the atmosphere during the mass making of paper, which contributes to the pollution, like acid rain and greenhouse gases, which are to blame for climate change and global warming. And let's talk about the distribution of this said money. Paper money is filthy and a significant source of disease transmissions because it is handled by unwashed hands, and it's simple to lose and steal, as I've mentioned in my beginning statement in my rebuttal. And in our current era of conservation, people have begun to look at every single facet of life to see how much of an impact it makes on the environment. So far, few people have discussed money itself as an influence, while there has been plenty of talk of how different economic processes generate pollution. And secondly, our financial system is based on institutions that are exceptionally corrupt and routinely have contributed to the recession and economic fall. A decentralized system such as crypto could eliminate the need for banks and make sure no one is exploiting the average person. These banks have been at the center of economic recession, for example in Malaysia, Goldman Sachs basically assisted stealing millions from Malaysian state funds. Similarly, many legitimate banks help criminals who make ill-earned money to launder and invest in their earnings. And this is just the tip of the iceberg, which is why we believe we need strong decentralization and elimination of banking institutions via crypto. Hence why this House supports the rise of use of cryptocurrencies in the financial transactions. I rest my case. Thank you very much.
We'd like to thank the Deputy Prime Minister for that speech. Speaker spoke for 4 minutes and 41 seconds, 441. And now we'd like to call upon the Deputy Leader of Opposition to further the case of side opposition and respond. Hear, hear.
Ladies and gentlemen, imagine a world where your money is transactional, even though much faster, in a digital system that has been around for less than how long that I am alive. Imagine a world where the rise of crypto will lead to the rise of hacking. And imagine a world where crypto is normalized, but is able to thrive, but with not said transactions. First of all, I would like to start with some rebuttals. You talk about the good of cryptocurrency, and most prominently, Bitcoin. However, what our side is trying to establish is how the use of it in financial transactions is not good, which I will elaborate more. Furthermore, you have mentioned about pollution and how it can be, but it can be easily be replaced with online bank currency. Have you ever been in a 7-Eleven? They have true money scanners and the shop outside. QR codes are used for online banking, which is another alternative. Furthermore, safety. There's much safety in investing, and we do not doubt that. However, you must mass adopt cryptocurrency, which imposes risks that brings me into my first argument. Risks that are greater than the benefits of using this in transactional processes. First of all, the risk of centralization, which goes against what's one of the main points of their arguments. Once the use of cryptocurrency rises, maybe let's say, hypothetically, it becomes more stable. People will begin to trust the use of it and use it in their daily lives. Then, what happens then? When people use cryptocurrency, they will use the government's bank list, and as a result, the government would want to take control of these financial transactions, not the rise of stocks. In the future, the government may find ways to buy or forfeit crypto. And when the rise of financial transactions leads to that happening, then it's back to square one. The government controls it either way, and it loses its purpose for decentralization. No, thank you. The purpose of its existence. And once crypto becomes a centralized currency, these currencies would be even worse than the currencies that we are using now. My second argument is irreversible change. Yes, we agree. Crypto has a very stable system for safety. However, the consequences, when crypto becomes more normalized, there are going to be more people who seek to hack it. When crypto becomes more normalized, when the rise of crypto occurs, then there are going to be more people who will try to hack it. Therefore, and when the consequences of being hacked, it is much higher than normal financial transactions, and most importantly, it is irreversible. More money is in gamble, digital currency, and there is much more risk. First of all, cryptocurrency is not a thing you can hold, like cash or gold. It has only been around for 13 years. That's 1 year younger than I am. It has never gone through a recession like many other banking solutions, like any other banking systems or many other solutions. And it is much of a risk imposed of recessions in the future. Ladies and gentlemen, would you rather put your trust in large transactions of a thing that is purely online, or would you rather hold on to your money now? And yes, even if you say the point of scams do exist on both sides, however, it is most prominently shown in your side's case, how people are more prone to falling to scams and more damage would have been done. Lastly, crypto is good for investing. As I said, it has good security, but not for transactional purposes, as all the points have already stated. And that is how we take the debate. I'm really proud to oppose. Oppose.
I'd like to thank the Deputy Leader of Opposition. Now we'd like to call upon the government whip. You're here.
Hello? Can you guys hear me? Okay. Good morning, honorable judges and fellow opposition. My name is Ritesh from the government side, and I'll be the whip for the proposition side. It is now my pleasure to summarize the debate, rebut some of the points, and clarify our stance. But before I can summarize my team's argument, I have to rebut some of the claims made by the opposition. Firstly, the first speaker has put the criteria that we must somehow prove that that crypto is good for financial transactions. We agree with this, and the second speaker and first speaker have contradicted themselves. Our second speaker has firstly mentioned the negative effects of paper money, and the second speaker has rebutted her point by saying we got online baht, we got the online currency. But then they go to say that it's not practical because you don't have it in hand. How are you going to use it? Because it's online money. They have contradicted themselves. Secondly, to the question of scams and privacy in crypto, this is all around the world already in the current financial institutions. We have the Pandora Papers that have revealed the financial institutions' corruptibility and the easy way people use the financial systems to hide their ill-ridden gains. Crypto does not completely solve this problem, but crypto is in a way that it has anonymity and transparency at the same time. In our current financial system, people have the ability to use shell companies and make sure that their financial earnings are hidden well and are kept well away. But in the case of crypto, you can always trace back and make sure where that currency came from in the first place. So which basically rebuts their point on why cryptocurrency is bad. Now, thirdly, the opposition has said to us that cryptocurrency is unreliable and volatile, and making it the norm would result in massive infrastructure change. But we've already seen cryptocurrency become the norm in multiple nations, such as the Central African Republic and China, who are moving towards cryptocurrency because of its benefits and traceability. The second speaker has mentioned that cryptocurrency is bad because the ability of cryptocurrency is that... Hold up, I need breath. The second speaker has mentioned that cryptocurrency is bad because of the cryptocurrency's inability to make proper transactions. But we rebut this point and we refute this point by stating that cryptocurrency is extremely reliable and it will never be bought up by governments, and governments will never be able to control cryptocurrencies because cryptocurrencies' essence is that they are uncontrollable. No one can control cryptocurrency. It's a decentralized blockchain system. Now, let's get into our main points as said by our first and second speaker. Cryptocurrencies are really beneficial to our society because they maintain anonymity, decentralization. Banks have exploited people for hundreds and hundreds of years. What they have done is unforgivable. In Malaysia, they stole nearly $400 million from national funds, and banks have robbed people. And from their loans, they have caused recessions, such as the 2003 recession. We've seen recessions in the 1930s, we saw people losing a lot of their jobs and people starving on the streets. Banks are one of the biggest institutions that have screwed over this world, and decentralizing banks and getting rid of banks is one of the best ways we can progress into the future, which is why we believe that we should decentralize currency and financial transactions. Now, secondly, financial transactions are much better made if we have crypto because of the easy accessibility in crypto. If you're using a normal financial system to transfer $1 million, there's going to be massive taxes, there's going to be middlemen who steal your money, there's going to be many examples of people getting their money freezed and getting robbed straight up from banks via ridiculous transfer rates and hidden charges. If we have cryptocurrency, this will not occur. Ladies and gentlemen, if we have cryptocurrency, these problems that the current banks have with financial transactions will not occur. Now, lastly, we would like to state the impact that paper currency has had on our world. Paper currency is made by cutting down trees and has left great carbon emissions. Now, if we take away paper currency, we can make sure transactions between people are much easier. We can use wallets to deposit crypto from one account to another by using QR code systems. To basically rebut the entire opposition's point, if we manage to normalize crypto, we will be able to create a a safe and system that does not allow for fraud to happen. Now, on to my point, as our first speaker has mentioned, fraud is almost impossible with crypto due to the perfect programming that it has and the technology behind it. And fraud is inexistent, but in banks and the current financial institutions, fraud is almost rampant. We have seen massive examples of banks defrauding investors. Now, in conclusion, we agree crypto has its problems, but we've seen crypto being normalized and becoming stable in many nations. And crypto is much better in many ways, but it has its negative effects and positive effects. But the positive effects cancel out the negative effects and making it much better than the current financial system. Thank you.
We'd like to thank the government whip for that speech. Speaker spoke for 5 minutes and 35 seconds, 535. Now we'd like to call upon the opposition whip. Here.
Hello, can you hear me loud and clear? I will be starting my speech in 3, 2, 1. Side proposition has proposed only the general benefits of cryptocurrency, which can be wholeheartedly equated to any other digitalized currency. While honorable judges, our side has proposed that crypto would be the best use for certain stocks and digitalized currency, while not being good to financial transactions. Now, starting on with some rebuttals. Your side has said that scams and pricing cryptocurrency would be less likely to happen due to the anonymity and encrypted codes. However, this concept of anonymity is what would be the incentive of people to hack and scam people, because no one knows who you are, so you can do whatever you want and no one is gonna know. Yes, even if they hack and they code, yes, it's gonna be so hard, but as the technology progresses on, hackers are going to get smarter. And when you get hacked in crypto, no one's gonna help you because the process is irreversible. Once you get scammed to transact, for example, send money to someone, you can't get that money back because the banks, no one is gonna help you. You're on your own for this. And about the environmental issues, thank you for bringing that up. Crypto also imposes environmental issues as well. Do you know how much electricity is wasted for crypto? Thank you, sorry. And then the point about the banknotes, yes, it is bad, it has germs. However, we also propose the concept of online banking, which still use the currency that's still centralized. However, the concept of decentralization, yes, even if this is good. However, as my second speaker has said, if it has continued to progress along, it could be developed into something even further, such as centralization. The government would want to take control over crypto. Now, moving on to my crash points. My first crash point, in a world where crypto is easier to use, in a world where everyone uses crypto, we're going to be taking them at their highest point, the point that they have been trying to tell us. In a world where everyone uses crypto. Imagine a world that the government no longer has